REFORGED Radio.
Oh, time to put in some work. Get plucked. Who's ready for some fun?
Ready to forge.
The fog sets in.
So guys, welcome to REFORGED Radio. My name is SMARMYTANK. Tonight's guest is ItsiDreaded. He recently changed his name from IDreaded to ItsiDreaded because I think of all the constant reference, at least by me, of saying it's dreaded, it's IDreaded, which is a famous clip from someone's stream that I think that Total plays on his stream. But anyway, without any further ado, there he is. There he is over there. IDreaded. It's dreaded. It's IDreaded. Okay, I got it in, dude. I got it in. How are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you doing, Smiley?
I'm gonna turn you up because I'm fucking really loud when I go through the recordings. And I'm gonna turn this music. You know what I need to do is get my media player back on here, but I don't know how to do that. I used to have a media player that played like some mellow shit, but whatever. Who cares? Anyway, let's shut this music off. Yo, man, thanks a lot for doing this, first of all. I appreciate you. I always try to give a little bit of a reference to everybody that's listening to let them know that, like, I don't know Dreaded at all. Like, the extent of our conversation in a Discord DM is about this. Like, I just found him a few days ago and said, do you really want to do it? Because we were kind of joking about it in chat, which seems like that's how this always seems to happen with getting you guys on here. But my observations, at least of Dreaded, from about the last year of seeing him around and getting to know him, is that he seems to be a moderator in a handful of channels. He seems to be a very funny, kind of a very interesting sense of humor, right? Oh my god, wait, what's happening? Did someone shout him out? Who shouted him out? Look at that beautiful cuck.
Totally shot 2 sniper rifles.
Oh, I see what's going on. So I have it on auto shout out now, and 44 rated SO 12,000. Let's go. So it's shouting out. It's shouting him out right now. Oh, this is horrible. This is terrible. Anyway, Encoder, look at that beautiful cuck. Do you know Encoder? How well do you know Encoder, by the way? Is that like a...
It's we can talk about it.
Okay, all right.
We
Okay.
can talk about it.
All right, okay. Hold on, I'm not happy with your noggin yet. There we go, a little bit more. A little bit more. A little bit more. There we go. So anyway, that's kind of my extent of like my knowledge of you. You know, oh no, sorry. No, you're good, 44. Don't worry about it, man. I edit all this crap out anyway, so. But anyway, thank you for the raid, Total Pro. I don't think his wife is happy with his noggin either, to be honest. Wow, Total Pro, early shots fired. Here we go.
He's just jealous I have a wife. It's fine.
Wow. Shots fired the other way. Why? He even said wow in the chat. But anyway, for those of you guys that might be just popping in and have never heard what this is or what I do, why it's called REFORGED Radio, really quickly, my name is SMARMYTANK. I stream Realm Royale. I have the fortunate opportunity to be a Realm Royale partner as well. And so what my goal in life is at this point, at my old age, is to try to promote this game as much as I possibly can. And so I came up with this little podcast about all things Realm Royale Reforged. And I try to get a bunch of people on here that are in the community. Hopefully people like, you know, some devs in the future. Maybe we'll even get, you know, the big man someday. Who knows? I've had Total Pro on. I've had Tick on. I mean, the list goes on. Baby Rage, Pop Schlock's been on here. Shiz has been on here. But now none of that matters because we finally got ItsiDreaded. It's IDreaded on the fucking podcast show. So, hey, man, I got these topics. I already sent them to you so that you could ponder them. You asked me for some clarification on one of them. I think you enjoyed how funny I was with you on that because we actually kind of promoted that in the stream the other day when I said, hey, do you want to do it? I'm like, you're going to spill the tea. And we kind of had a good, funny moment about it. And one of the things I really like honor about you is like not everybody gets my humor. And I don't think everybody always right away gets your humor. So when I see you working sometimes in a chat, I'm like, oh, I love this. And I'm going to try to work a little bit off it. And then you'll come back and I'll be like, okay, this is the kind of fun I like to have in chat. So let's do this though. Did you get a chance to play the PTS? This third patch,
yes.
PTS?
Yes, I did. I have played a little of it. Unfortunately for me, Because I'm controller PC and the PTS does not have controller support. I have to use a software to be able to even get my controller up and running on PTS, and it's been acting up a little bit, so I haven't been able to play as much as I would like. But yeah, I've played the PTS, yes.
So from a gameplay standpoint, obviously you're not going to have as much to say because obviously you have a bunch of bugs, if you will, so to speak, working. What are some of the things that right away, assuming that you didn't have some friends already give you some heads up about some of the shit that was happening, what are some things that really shocked you and that you were like, holy shit, okay? Or were you like disappointed at all in some things that weren't in this patch? And mind you, the patch isn't 100% complete. Maybe there's a couple little tricks and toys they're going to throw in as well, but usually what we get on PTS is what we're going to get. So
I wasn't disappointed, and I think anyone who's disappointed should probably reevaluate that judgment, because the team is tiny, and considering how much they managed to do in 6 weeks each time is incredible. I think they deserve a lot of props for Thor and the team and the people who couldn't help them out and stuff like that. So I wasn't disappointed at all. I think it's great that we have new character models. I think it's great we have a battle pass with something to grind. For me personally, the engineer is brand new. When I came to the game, it was just after the engineer had gone. So for me, it's something brand new to play. I know for others, it's kind of like nostalgic, like, oh my God, it's OG Realm. So I think people are enjoying that. Do I think there's still things that need to be tweaked? Yes. I think that's normal with new things that come in, and metas changing and things like that. But overall, I was really impressed. I'm really happy with what they've done and what they've added. Obviously, we had Popslog's community feedback kind of thing earlier as well, which seems to be helping, and people can come together in one place and give their feedback and answer some polls and stuff like that. So I think all of that helps, and I think that hopefully when this comes out, whenever it comes out, a couple of weeks, I would assume, based on previous, people enjoy it. And I think the only thing that sucks about it, and is the issue, is that the majority of the player base, which is the console player base, just don't get a chance to test it out.
Yeah.
And that sucks, and that is what it is. Like, it's not a high-res deal, like they would have to work with Microsoft and Sony and Nintendo and everyone else to work that out, is my understanding of it, and that's very difficult to do. So yeah, they just kind of have to sit and wait, which sucks. So
did you get a chance to catch Popslog this morning? Were you able to hang out and see what was going on over there?
I caught the second half of it. I was out with my kids this morning. I caught the second half of it for a little bit and hung out in there. So yeah, I was there for the second half. So
no lie, I woke up and I flipped on the stream and it said ending stream. And I was like, okay. I slept right through it all. So hopefully the VOD's up. I didn't even go back and check. Sunday's kind of family day until I do this as well. I kind of spend some time with my wife and my son or whatever. We do family stuff until like 8 or 9 o'clock tonight when I do this stuff. But was there something that stood out to you that was repetitive today? Like, you gotta fix this, you gotta fix this. Because I have one that I don't know if it was talked about today, but the mount that is the pixel mount, is that what it's called? It has the RR forever on the license plate of it. It sounds like a slot machine in a Las Vegas casino, and it's driving me crazy. Did anybody mention this? Did this get talked about at all? Okay.
Yes, I think it got mentioned. I thought it was a little loud. And I did hear someone else describe it in the chat as it sounds like I'm walking through a casino. So it's funny that you bring that up because other people mentioned that too. I'm not sure what they're going to do with it, whether they change the sound completely or whether they just tone it down.
I mean,
but yeah,
it's
it can get a little bit annoying.
It's like after 2 minutes, I was like, okay, this is really irritating me. And so I'm sure someone will use that all the time, and then at least we'll hear him come in. I'll be like, oh, the slot machine's on its way here. Was there anything in the battle pass that you thought was super impressive that you were kind of like, holy shit, I can't believe they did that, or holy shit, this skin looks amazing? I know I have my opinions on this. What are your thoughts?
Obviously everyone's gonna have a favorite skin that they really love and enjoy in the game, and I think a lot of people were a bit disappointed before this patch with like, oh, it's just Light Fighter skins are just recolors and stuff. But I really like the Digi Assassin that they brought out, even though it's just another recolor. I think it looks incredible. And also for like a new model one, I think the Shark Warrior is phenomenal. I think the artwork that they managed to do on this is so good. And again, like I said earlier, like the team deserves so much credit for it because they don't get very much time to implement all these things. So yeah,
I'm guilty. If anybody that has gotten to know me over the last year or so that I've been hanging out in the community again, you know, I'm very, very guilty of like foreshadowing and saying, hey, this plus this plus this, I think it means this. And I've actually been right a lot more than I've been wrong when I do this kind of like, hey, here's my theory or hypothesis. So I'll throw it out. I'm curious what you think about it. But I'm starting to notice like more and more there's things like, at least with some of these skins, where I'm like, okay, it almost feels like they were making more of this piece of this and we just don't have it yet. Like, I don't know if you're getting that same feeling, like, okay, you just throw us a shark skin and a shark mount. Like, there's got to be something more, like almost another version of that skin maybe. I kind of felt like almost like the mage skin and the hunter skin were kind of incomplete, so to speak. Like, they could have a little more added to them. Like, a lot of people right away were like, can you take the wings off? Can I get rid of the wings? I hate the wings on anything. But I feel like they were just kind of putting something down as a base, and then they might actually grow some more stuff out of it. Did you get that feeling at all, or am I just once again kind of just theorizing off of the wrong signals?
So I don't know if it's that, Smarmy. I don't think I know any more than you. So I think it's a case of like,
and I don't know any more than that. So yeah, I mean, I don't know anything more.
I think anything that we could say towards that would be a guess. It looks like from things like the squid, kind of chicken skins and sprays and things like that they seem to be going with this kind of like ocean theme, which is kind of cool. With the hunter, which I heard earlier, I don't think it's most people's favorite skin. Me as a hunter main, and I think it's something new and cool, and I like it. So you know, but obviously we didn't get that for the assassin and the mage, so maybe we get a skin that's kind of more ocean themed for those down the line.
Interesting.
And that would be cool, I think, you know. But again, we've had other people say, you know, like, wouldn't it be cool if we could have like a female assassin and a female warrior and a male hunter and a male mage? You know, like, that would be cool. There's so, like, the potential is so huge for Realm in terms of skins and like that kind of content. And it's like, originally, if you just think, hey, like, a chicken skin can only be a chicken. No, a chicken skin could be anything. And like, we're starting to see that now. You know, you've got the Goldie one, you've got the squid one, you've got the shark one, you've got all these different things. It doesn't just have to be a chicken. There's so much potential there for like Hi-Rez to really go out and get it, you know?
Sorry, I'm just pointing at my chicken tank skin real quick. Hold on a sec there, Dre. Okay, yeah, we got it. Yeah, I'm just no pressure, anybody that's watching from Hi-Rez. Look, I've already done all the graphics and art for you. You just gotta 3D it and put it in the game. No one needs to know it's me. Come on. It'll just be our little secret. It'll be like an inside job. You know, one of the things I want to ask you about too, because one of the things I respect about you, and there's a large group of you guys that I put into a very similar category, which is that you're very, very highly skilled players. You're not necessarily the guys that are out there competing and sweating in lobbies, but if I run into you in the game, I'm like, oh man, freaking dreaded. Okay. Like, you're the guys I have trouble beating. You know what I mean? Like, if I run into Total in game, I have trouble beating Total. There's a very decent sized group of you guys that are just like, I feel like the tier above me as far as how skillful you are and good at this game, that I lose to regularly. And I say that with all respect, by the way. But let me tell you something, and I want your opinion on this. I never played Engineer either. I jumped in and I was fortunate enough to get an opportunity to play it a little bit before it came out to everybody else overnight. And I was just like, oh my God, dude, this thing's amazing. This grenade launcher along with this gun. Oh, you ADS and it hits for more. And I felt like every single time I ran into a real person that I could destroy them, except when I ran into another engineer played by someone like you, who's just a little more skilled than me. Like, I would lose those fights quite a bit. But I was just absolutely going through real players with the engineer, and part of me was like excited because I'm like, okay, whew, this is cool. This is kind of like I felt about Hunter when we first saw Hunter and that grappling hook and the movement. Like, I love it. And then I was like, wait, I still can't beat this class. Wait, this class seems like it's gonna have trouble against this class. Because then I started jumping in Assassin, and every time I came up against Engineer, I'm like, okay, I'm complete. I don't even know how to fight this fight. I don't even know what I'm supposed to do. Because the little technical, you know, conk into decoy and then snipe them. It's not working here because they're in the air when I've conked and decoyed. Like I'm looking up going, okay, where I hear him, I'm dead. You know, like, so I'm like, okay, I don't know how to play against him at all, but I'm having a lot of fun playing with him. Like I'm rambling, but what are your thoughts? Do you feel like this added something that we're like, oh shit, now engineer's like too OP? Or do you still feel like we have 5 balanced classes in the small, you know, time frame that we've been playing it?
So I think anything that comes in new, and I think this, the only thing I can think that really didn't really happen when with this sort of thing was maybe the Jav, when Javelin came in and it wasn't super strong. But I think anything new that comes into a game, like most of the time, even in other games, it tends to be a little bit stronger originally. Because, like, you know, it's brand new. You want people to play it. You want people to try it. And if it's a little bit stronger, they're more likely to do so. So I think some things about the engineer may be slightly overtuned. Whether they change that, I don't know. Whether they just release it to live and be like, hey, let's see what the console players think. I don't know. I don't think it's so overpowered that it's unbeatable from other classes.
Interesting.
I do think it's going to take some getting used to. I think it's similar to when we had the grapple hook and you were mentioning that, you know, like it's a very different kind of movement. And for those first couple of weeks, it was really difficult to be able to like hit hunters when they're in a grapple or anything like that, or really even be able to keep track of them and be like, wait, where are they going to be able to go? And I feel like that's kind of where I'm at personally with engineer, as well as I'm like, oh crap, he's up in the air. Oh, maybe I can take my shot. No, now he's thrusted. Oh, now he's using Lightfoot or something like, wow, he's everywhere. So I feel like it's just going to take a little bit of time to, especially for us, like people like us who've never really used the engineer,
right,
to be like, okay, how does it work? Like, what kind of movements are they going to be able to use? And then, like, how can I outplay that with either the same class or a different class? So yeah, I think it's just a little bit of practice and a little bit of time, and if the cues are anything to go by from what I saw earlier, watching Dr. Seppa play it, because good lord, that guy can play engineer.
Yeah, no, I mean, I felt the same way when I watched Tepper originally play the Hunter. I was like, okay, that's broken. Plus, he's just so good across the board. I mean, there's a handful of guys like Bordy and him and guys like even Adam, you know, that are just good across the board at all these classes on maybe even a higher level occasionally. But Tepper, man, like whenever I see him play any class, I'm like, oh, okay, he's good at that one too. Shit. All right, that sucks. Yeah. But the nice thing is that we have him hopefully making some videos like he did with the Hunter. I learned a lot from the videos, you know, like he was doing the double movement, really triple movement ability in solos. I think that the meta for that class has become Prox Trap, Blast Arrow. I know that's what I've been playing, and I've actually ran some crossbow. What do you think about the crossbow change to Hunter?
I think it's strong. Like,
yeah,
it's way stronger than it was before, that's for sure. So so yeah, I like it.
Take it from it from a guy that hits like 1 out of every 2 shots on anything. Like, I liked it.
Yeah, like that's my thing. Like my accuracy, because I have no aim assist, is not helped at all. So my accuracy's not great anyway.
We're in the same boat. I love it.
Yeah, it's strong. It's strong, dude. I like it. I like the fact that we're bringing it up, and so maybe it will be more common to see hunters run both class weapons. You know, like with the assassin, you a lot of the time, although it's not always, you now see heirloom and snipe. When it comes to hunter, you normally see longbow and rev. Like maybe now we start seeing longbow and crossbow because it's you know, a little bit higher up, a little bit better. That would be kind of cool. I feel like it would be cool to do, like, you know, you could see like axe and javelin, and you can see the 2 staffs potentially. Maybe the ice staff's been tweaked a little bit. It feels a little bit easier to hit long range in the time that I've used it. So maybe the fire staff becomes a little bit closer range, and the ice staff can be used a bit to long range. And then, you know, your engineer, you can use that shock rifle a bit longer range, and you can use the other rifle, the grenade, to be up close. So yeah, if you have that for each class, to be able to have something that you can use at short range and then at mid to long, I think we can see a lot more people run both, like 2 class weapons on every single class. I
feel like I agree with you, and obviously I watched a little bit. So when I jumped in and I got a chance to play a few days ago, I pretty much was like 100% engineer. I could care less about trying anything else out. And then I think it was Total or someone else, maybe it was even Shiz, was like, hey, this got a buff. Hey, they changed this too. And so obviously as the last couple days went on, that heirloom feels really good. Like really good. Like I was picking it up instead of a slug if I could find a purple one at least, and was feeling it. And then at the same time, when I found slugs early game, I was like, whoo, this is good now. Remember you used to open a chest in the old days of slug would come out, you're like, we win. That's it, game over, right? You were early game, you got a slug out of a chest, didn't matter what color it was. You're like, we're wrecking this whole entire, we're wrecking crossing right now, you know? And so I almost feel like it's a little bit closer back to that, at least the way that gun used to hit. There was a lot of controversy, seemingly a lot of controversy still. Again, I wasn't on Pop's stream this morning, so I'll have to take your word for it, or anybody maybe that's in the chat that knows. Tyler, thanks for the raid, brother. Appreciate you. I guess my question is, you know, and again, I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but I remember hearing Pro talk about, you know, the way the bow, when you draw it back, if it's 100% or if it's half, it doesn't matter. The damage isn't, you know, justified by how much of a draw you had, and they really should change that. This was probably, I guess, what, a month and a half ago before patch 2 that we were talking about this, almost around the time before the last patch. And I know that didn't get changed, and some people kind of talked about it a little bit. And then my understanding is that they did something to the bow this time, but I don't think they did anything to that. But what did they change, as far as you know? Like, I don't really understand. People are like, oh, they buffed Hunter again. Are they talking about the crossbow there, or are they talking about the bow?
So from my understanding, from what I can see, because I've got PTS patch notes on my other screen here.
Oh, okay. Probably should pull those up.
So yeah, the longbow damage was lowered slightly.
Okay.
So the green stayed the same at 600. Purple went to 815 instead of 825, so it's just a 10 drop. Okay. And the gold went from 950 down to 920. And then crossbow got completely reworked, and has, obviously, as we've spoken about, is much stronger. So maybe that's what people are talking about in terms of Hunter getting a buff. But the main weapon for Hunter did get a small nerf. And it looks like pretty much every other class, I mean, can't really say too much about engineer being buffed because it's brand new, right? It's strong.
No matter what, we're probably getting that nerf, no matter what, right?
Yeah, I imagine, I would think there'll be some sort of tweaks to it. I don't know what their plan is to change with it, but I imagine there'll be some sort of tweak to those things because they're all new. And obviously now that we have people who are able to actually test it and be in like competitive settings of like queues and things like that, then we can get a better feel for what works and what doesn't and everything else. So I'm sure they'll take that feedback away from this weekend and tweak a few things.
For sure.
With lots of things. I don't think it'll just be with the engineer. I'm sure there'll be lots of small little tweaks to try and even everything out. And then, you know, like Sniper got nerfed, I'll use that term lightly, bringing down the damage from 1200 down to 1200 from 1300 on gold. But then the chicken health got lowered too.
It's 1200.
So it's still a one shot. So it's still one shot on gold. So Heirloom got a buff. Blink got a 20% distance buff.
I noticed it and I liked it, by the way. I like the. I feel like well, and let's segue kind of and add to this. So let's talk about Goblin Gulch. Let's talk about you know, Jaguar. Let's talk about the desert. Okay. So the desert, with the exception of Guntown, they basically took a bunch of boards and bridges, fungal obviously included in this too, and they made it impossible for you not to be able to get to the highest spots on any spots in those areas of the map. They basically shaved the mountain down on Jaguar, so there's no more of that bullshit fight from that hill fucking behind that forge. And then they put one bridge kind of to make it easier and faster to get up to fight the people on the top of that one shooting at you. I really feel like whoever's listening at high res, if you watch this, which you may not, can you put a bridge also from the hill that's next to Outpost up to that top side as well? What, anybody with me on this? Like, it needs another hill. It needs another bridge from that other hill that's on the other side of Outpost. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I don't hate that idea. I think that having multiple ways to be able to get to high ground is something that it looks like high res want to do, as opposed to just being like, oh, we're at Goblin Gulch and a mage can just soar up top and I have no way to get up there, and now they're just going to destroy me because I'm down low. You know, like it looks like they're trying to give other classes other options to be able to get up there, which is good. I think that's healthy and helpful. And yeah, I'm not completely against that idea. I think it wouldn't be a bad idea to have multiple ways to get on the multiple high grounds of outposts for sure.
Oh, okay. Pop sent us some screenshots of the changes, but because I've chosen to have you on my screen, if I change anything in Discord, it won't show you on the screen anymore. So we're just gonna hold off on that for now. Perhaps I'll add those into the actual pod when I throw it up on YouTube. So, and then let's talk about Goblin Gulch. I mean, Goblin Gulch is now a little bit different area to fight in, especially at in game, because you can kind of get above. Oh, and that's segueing off of the assassin. Is now I feel like I could run up there with the assassin on that one side where there's the big whatever that is crystal sticking out sideways, and I can easily leap up there. Where now you and I both know sometimes you hit that blink and you just blink right into the mountain and end up right where you were standing. I feel like for whatever reason the increase of the 20% has given it the ability to kind of go, you know, over things and through things more so than like it kind of used to do, rather than like shit, I just used my blink and I'm stuck now for I'm dead, you know. Like I really like the buff to that blink. And I'm trying to think of what else. What did you think about fungal? Do you think they should still burn it to the ground, Dreaded, or do you think that the bridges are going to be enough for that? Oh, look at his face, you guys. Look at his face.
I still hate it. I still hate it, dude. I hate it. And this is coming from someone who
yes, Pop, do that,
used to play console and used to be a mage main for the first few months that I played the game, and used to use the crap out of stuff like that. But it's not healthy. You know, for like, you know, if you want balance, that's just not healthy. Now, this is something that will help, and, you know, maybe it's just short term. Maybe that's just a short term fix. I don't know. But I think it helps people. I would still like to see it burnt to the ground and completely reworked. But I imagine, I'm no game coder, I imagine that's incredibly difficult, time consuming, and resource consuming. So yeah, I wouldn't expect to see that anytime soon.
You know, the other thing too that I've been fortunate enough to get to talk to some people, you know, that are a lot closer to the team than I am, obviously. And I don't consider myself a really technologically advanced guy, but I start to understand more and more as I have the similar conversations every time we have this patch about how things were created originally, how there's challenges with how things are. And so it's not just as simple as, hey, we'd like to go in and do this thing over here. They just don't have the ability to do it based on how it originally was built 4 or 5 years ago when they were working on it to begin with. So obviously that then brings up another, you know, point of, well, hey, when can we get something that would allow us to make all these crazy changes? And I think that leads to the battle pass, and I think that leads to where we're going. And like I said, I hope I'm reading the tea leaves right, and I hope that the week after the battle pass, I hope that there's some brand new skins in the shop for the hunter, like, you know, some male hunter skins in the shop. And it'd be really exciting, like if the week after that there was like some female like warrior skins like in the shop. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is my hope to keep like the excitement going, because I'm pretty sure this battle pass, I'm pretty sure this patch is going to be well received. I feel like it's going to. I feel like we're going to get a massive amount of attention. I sense that they're trying to and want to promote this game and market it more. So if they're going to, you know, the crack for my son next door, you know, the crack that he asks me for every single week is, it's on Fortnite. It's like, Dad, I gotta have this skin. Dad, I gotta have this skin. Dad, no, but you don't understand. This one's only gonna be in the shop today. Like, we need that crack in our game, like 100%. So I hope that that's something that they might be planning on doing. Let me ask you one more question about the PTS, and then we'll try to scream through these other two, because we've taken a lot of time on the patch, which rightfully so. It was a massive patch. So what do you think about what they did at Ice Haven, and is it enough at this point? And do you know what I'm talking about? Obviously you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so I know they added some cover on the ice. Ice Haven, I don't think it's bad. I do think they could have added a little bit more. It depends on what side you're really coming in on as to whether you have good enough cover. There's a particular angle if you're facing like away from the forge with like your back to the forge. If you look like northwest, that kind of direction, like
Right.
there isn't quite as much cover on that side. And so if you were coming in from that angle, and I get it, like that's towards the edge of the map, most people probably aren't going to come in from that angle. But like there's not very much cover there still, even though they've added a little. So so yeah, maybe there could be more done, but again, like does it need a complete rework? Maybe. Or does it just need a little bit more cover or some slightly different cover added? Again, maybe.
Yeah.
I think it's better than it was. So, and I think that's the thing with a lot of things that are happening with Realm, is like it's an improvement on what it was, and that's what we want to see, right? Like if you're looking for a development, like you want to see something improve as they continue to work on it. Like it's not going to be like a, hey, we're going to go from 0 to 100 and we're going to make it perfect in one patch. Like
Right.
that's unrealistic. It's not going to happen. So if it's better than it was, great, fantastic. That's what we're looking for. Can it still be improved? Sure. And I think that's what these kind of community feedback things are for, and things like this, where you can have lots of different people on to talk about their ideas and stuff like that. If people from high res are watching that sort of thing and take that on board, fantastic, because then in the future we can continue to improve, right?
Yeah, and you know, and I've been saying this, I've been just screaming this from the rooftops for months now, since we knew we were getting the game back. Because I said, listen, I don't know about everyone else, but I was there. I saw Thor talk about 3 patches every 6 weeks, and then every 6 weeks after. And I could sense that when he was talking about these first 3 patches, that this was kind of like, hey, after patch 3, this is what we kind of came up with. Like when we started to work on this thing, and there was patch 1, patch 2, and patch 3, we felt like at the end of patch 3, it's kind of like, what do you guys think, dude? This is Reforged. This is kind of like where it's going, you know? And I'm satisfied. Like I'm satisfied if this patch launches and there's not a lot of bugs, and the gameplay's good, and hopefully the competitive guys all, you know, stop working their part-time jobs and get back into the fucking solo league and all that shit. You know, we can get this thing fired up again. So yeah, man, listen, I really like everything that I saw. There was only one thing that I really didn't like, which was the noise on that mount. It was super irritating. There was also someone that complained and wanted me to mention that they were upset that they bought the Forge Fire skin for their warrior, and now they have to use it for their engineer. So whoever's listening out there, one person was mad about that. I also think that same person was saying that in Discord. So then let's move on to this next one that I threw your way, because do you know how many channels you're a moderator for?
So for this new account, not as many. Beforehand, it was probably into the 20s or 30s.
Okay.
And we can talk a little bit about why that is as well, if you really want to. I don't mind. Listen, I'm happy to do that.
Take it away. What do you tell me a little bit? First of all, tell me a little bit about, you know, you had 20 accounts in the old account, and you obviously got a new account. Was there any reason that you did that, or was it just a name change and then you're like, wait, I'm not modded in all these channels. This is awesome. Like, how did that go? So
to talk about moderator life a little bit, and people who are moderators in multiple places will understand this. For each channel that you moderate, it's very different depending upon who you're moderating for. 2 really good examples I can use are Total Pro and Mortic. So Total Pro is pretty relaxed with me about like what I can and can't do. We have very good communication. We talk every day anyway. We're good friends.
Right.
Yeah, you know, like if there's something that he wants to do, he will tell me, and I'll be hands off about it. But for the most part, because he's a successful streamer and he has a lot of people, and you are very aware of this too on the Twitch platform, you know, you get the regular trolls come in. I've already seen one come into your stream today and be banned. And I've already banned him in other streams, imagine. So yeah, like you get that a lot, and to be able to, like for me, it's awesome to be able to help out streamers in that way. Like I want to be able to help them, because for me, if I'm in a stream, I don't want to focus on the trolls. I don't particularly want to be super focused on anyone else in chat. I'm there for the streamer. Right. I'm there for their content, and I want to help them as much as possible. I want to promote them as much as possible. I want to make their job easier.
Right. Like,
and so beforehand, when I had the old account, I was doing that for a lot of different accounts, and with that becomes a lot of responsibility, but also all the people that you ban, or all the people that you time out, or all the people that you delete messages or take care of because they're being stupid in a chat will come directly to you. And that's very.
I can't imagine what your DMs look like, man.
It can get on your nerves. It can get on your nerves. And it got to a point where I was not doing so great mentally anyway, and I really needed the break, and didn't really see it as I needed the break, and left it and left it and left it, and it got to the point where it was a bit much, and I was like, yeah, screw this. I'm just gonna be. I'll just be done with it. And I just nuked everything.
Yeah,
that entire old account, like I had a Discord on there under that name. I had like the Twitch under that name. All of that stuff is gone.
You just completely like had it out with yourself and said, "That's it, I'm done." Like I'm gonna start from scratch.
I didn't touch Realm, didn't touch Twitch, didn't touch Discord for like 3 weeks straight. Like I didn't touch anything at all. And then when I came back after those 3 weeks, I was like, I probably shouldn't have done that. It's like I probably should have just taken a break.
What have I done?
It's like I probably should have just taken a break. Dang. So then I was like,
what have I done?
I'm gonna have to recreate everything and do new stuff. You know, like and bring all the like old like icons and everything else across and like redo everything and have to try and get affiliate again and everything like that and grind and everything like that. So,
you were probably affiliate in one day, yes? I mean, you have enough support in the community.
I'd say I can't speak highly enough of the majority of this community. The Realm community is phenomenal. And I had it as quickly as I possibly could. Affiliate, which I think is like 7 streams or whatever it is that you have to have a certain number of streams. But yeah, I had it as quickly as possible. And now I think I only moderate 3 streams now. So I could probably do a few more, but at the same time, like, I'm not going to push myself back to a point that I was, because it's just not worth it to me. Moderator life.
I just checked your Twitch channel to make sure I was following, and I was.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
Like there's so much mental load that goes on as a moderator when you're trying to do it to the best of your ability.
Yeah.
And so when you see people, and I'm gonna stop and cough because otherwise I'm gonna die from a dry throat.
No, go.
When you see moderators who are moderators in lots of different chats, please show them respect and make sure they're okay. I can't say that enough. Like the people who are out there who moderate for communities and really take care of people, and really look out for streamers and try and get rid of the people who want to be stupid in the community and people who are trying to ruin it for other people. We really need to take care of those people and make sure that they stick around and make sure that they're okay, because if they're not and they disappear, it's going to be a much worse place. And Twitch is rough sometimes as it is. Yeah, I don't know what it's like on TikTok.
No, listen, TikTok's new. We had our first run-in. I won't get into it last night with some rather pissy teenagers. It's for another time. Maybe the next Reforged Radio we'll talk about that. But TikTok's got a long way to go. They got a lot to learn, and the only way you can moderate a channel is on a mobile phone right now. So you can't go onto the desktop app and get into the live and actually moderate it that way as a moderator. Tickle, who's in my chat right now, you know, respect to both of you guys. I mean, he's a true moderator. I have Shiny that comes through. He's kind of like my lifelong moderator. Haven't seen him tonight. Don't know what he's up to, but that guy's been with me through thick and thin, kind of like with you and, you know, with Total and a couple others. Man, I just wanted to tell everybody out there, like, that listens to this, you know, the next, like, if you guys like pick this up and pick it off Spotify, or you go to the YouTube and you're not here live to hear this, like, I know that seems like kind of a weird question to ask a guy on a Reforged Radio thing, you know, podcast that's all about Reforged Radio, Realm Royale Reforged, but what I try to get people to understand so much of the time, and what really makes me mad, the thing that makes me the most angry, not only when I'm streaming, but like just even when I'm in a chat, is that, like, we're trying to promote this game. You know, I know you love it. I know that Totes loves it. I can name 50 fucking people right now that have given a lot of time, Shadowcaster, and a lot of effort to this game. He's gonna play his shout out now, and it's a thankless job, you guys. Like, it's a thankless job. Like, we don't generally, at least I don't have the wherewithal to pay my moderators. I don't know if, you know, Dreaded wants to talk about whether he gets anything or doesn't. I mean, it's not important, but the reality is that the abuse that moderators endure and streamers endure, especially recently in this community, is so unacceptable to me. And I wanted you guys to hear from someone that's not me, not one of my mods tonight, to talk about, you know, the pain that they go through. Like this guy just told you, he took a break off, he eliminated an account because you idiots, if you're any of you are in here, don't get it. It's not about you. It's not about your little thing in game that you're playing in our chat. It's about the streamer and the game they're playing and us trying to promote a positive vibe for this community. Now I know that some of the guys you mod for play other games, so I'm not saying it's just a Realm Royale thing, but it's like grow up, you know? Like we're all here trying to make this game the best that we can. And this guy is a staple in this community, not only playing and streaming it, but moderating channels. And like, it's tough, man. You know, one thing you didn't say, and I was waiting for you to say it, I think you were just about to say it, Dreaded. It's like, there's nothing more weird than banning someone and being really miffed at them. And then a day later being in someone else's chat and watching them chat and just be sitting there going, how is this person allowed to chat in this person's channel? But then you know what happens is it starts to make me think, well, maybe I should reconsider whose channels I'm watching. If these people are either allowed or behave better here, like why are they behaving so well here? And why not that way in this? Like that's what goes through my head every day when I'm on Twitch and someone pops up and I go, oh, that idiot's allowed to fucking chat here? Fuck, I thought I had him blocked. Hold on. Blocked. Okay, I don't have to see his chat anymore.
I think the thing is, Smarmy, is like when it comes to there's certain people in the community who are just banned everywhere because they are full-time idiots, like that's their job. But like for the majority, like if someone's an idiot in pro stream, and then I'm going to use an example here, it's not a real example, it's a just fake example, I'm
right.
Just saying because they just come in the chat.
Yeah.
They've literally just come in and raided you, but let's say they go to Shadowcaster stream.
Right.
And then they're chatting away there. Pro's not necessarily going to come across and be like, this dude's an idiot. I'm not necessarily going to come across and be like, I just banned this dude in the chat, unless it's something serious, like he was racist or, you know, like something like full-blown TOS. I'm probably not going to come over and let them know that. If they're just being an idiot in chat and stupid, I'm probably not going to mention it. And because of that, a lot of the time the streamer doesn't even know that they've been stupid somewhere else.
Right.
And so then you see them chatting in there in the future and you're like, ah, this guy? But like the streamer doesn't know. Like that streamer doesn't know. Like there's no, as far as I'm aware.
Wow,
there's no real community like that's just moderators being like, hey, like we're all Realm Royale moderators and in this channel this person said this, so maybe we should have them out of all of these. Like, and I don't know if that's necessary. Like, I don't feel like it should be necessary. Like you said, like people should just grow up.
Dude, Dreaded, Pure Mood in my chat just said that people can now have a shared ban list so that we can share up to 30 people with other streamers. We can share our ban list. Are you aware of this? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm aware of it. It's a little used tool, and Twitch are slowly improving tools to fix things like that. But it's not utilized well enough. It's not promoted well enough within Twitch. And that's what I mean. Like, it sounds like you're just finding out about that sort of thing. Like, I only found out about it a couple weeks ago. It's still, like Tickle just said, it's kind of meh. It's not like perfect. It's right. New, and obviously it's going to take time to develop.
There would be one name that would take up the whole list, and then he would just create 30 more.
Yeah, exactly, right? So that's just it. Then you have to be picky and choosy about who you put on that list.
Unreal.
Yeah.
All right, okay. So you guys, respect your mods. Be good to your mods. And listen, you can certainly DM a mod if they've banned you and you don't understand it, but don't go crying and try to plead your racist, homophobic, like childish, like idea to someone in a DM. You know, just take your punishment, move on, go to another stream or something like that. But here's what I want to know. Here's what everybody showed up for tonight, okay? I asked you to spill the tea. I think it was in Tick's channel. We were joking about it. I said, you know what? I'm going to make that one of the topics, and then you're going to shit, and then they're going to shit, and then they're going to be, what does this mean, spill the tea? So I kind of said to you today, hey, man, here's what I'm really looking for. So what I want you to do is maybe tell us something that we don't know or is not that paid attention to about Realm Royale, maybe one of the streamers if you want to. Give us a take we don't hear every single time we get on Pop Schlock's channel, every time we get on the Patch Notes channel, every time we get on REFORGED Radio. We all talk about the same Hunter, OP, this, that. Bring up a new one for us. Did you think of one? Did you come up with one today?
I didn't come up with one, but I can try and think of one real quickly, Smarty, while we're here.
Yeah.
I thought you were just wanting me to, like talk crap about Pro or something, and I could do that for the rest of the stream if that's what you need.
Listen, if you want to talk crap about Pro and Tick, like, we would love. That's allowed. Let me get the banhammer out for total real quick. Hold on a second. True at Popshock is. Oh, come on, Flex. Why? Listen, I'm gonna ban that word in my channel. I should have done it a long time ago. Anyway, so now's your chance to. You know what? Now's your chance to talk shit about anybody you want, including me. Go.
I'm not gonna talk shit about anyone. It's not worth my time.
I know.
Quite frankly, it's really not worth my breath to bring up certain people. One's just been mentioned in your chat.
Right.
There are others, but I would rather focus on the positives. There are so many good people in this community. There really are, and there are so many people who are trying to push this game for good. Not to be like coming to a stream and be like, this game's dead, why are you still streaming it? If that's how you feel, why are you in the stream?
Welcome to TikTok, by the way.
So
a bunch of viewers in TikTok, and about 20 of them are just like, bro, is this Fortnite ripoff? Why are you playing this? People still play this game?
Crazy to me that people feel like that's the way they want to utilize their time. But yeah, there's so many good people out there that want to promote this game and want to make it a good thing. I would never want to focus on anyone who's trying to make it bad or who's toxic or anything like that. They're not worth the breath. Believe me, the only thing that we would have in common with them is that they like Realm Royale. That's it.
Right.
And we're very different outside of that.
Right.
So, what can I think of as a take for you that's a take you might not have heard before? Huh.
I'm so excited right now. Skin is standing up on my arms.
I can't think of anything that wouldn't have already been said to you, Smarmy, to be honest.
Interesting. Wait.
Because
I thought maybe Pop had a question. He was just saying something in the channel. Listen, I don't do this every time, but since Dreaded has just literally filled up nearly an hour at a time, and I feel like we've only been talking for 5 minutes, does anyone in the chat have a real question for Dreaded? A real question, like not some bullshit question.
Yeah,
anybody have a real question that they've always wanted to know about Dreaded?
Yeah, I'm happy to answer any questions as long as it's not something that's too personal about someone personal. Like, yeah, fire away.
Man, I wish I had a question for you that was tough to answer too. I do have a question. This is a good question, actually. So right. I couldn't help but notice you have a slight accent, but you mentioned to me that you're on East Coast time. So are you on the East Coast, and have you moved here from an original place that you once lived? And if you're willing to tell us, if you can talk about it.
Well,
high level, maybe.
As you can hear, I'm clearly born and raised in Texas.
You sound just like Total Pro.
I do, right?
Total says that you fake the accent.
Yeah, he thinks the Pro has become obsessed with the idea that I fake my English accent and I'm actually an American, and this is just fake. Like this entire accent is fake.
There was a girl on TikTok that was doing this. She had a full English accent, and then one night she came on. She's like, "Sorry, I've been faking it the whole time." People were like, "No, you're faking it now." It's like it became a huge thing. Like it was crazy.
I think he's been on too many conspiracy theory websites. I'm not sure what Pro does in his spare time, but I think that could be it. So yeah, if we want to hear about how I'm on East Coast time, I am originally born and raised in England until I was about 18. I moved to Scotland for 3 years, and then I met my wife online. She is from Missouri originally, but she was in Florida at the time, and we got together a couple times. We spoke for over a year online and got together a few times in person for a couple months, and I knew that she was the person that I wanted to marry, so I proposed to her, and we ended up getting married, and I've been in the US for nearly 8 years now.
So, Dreaded, you and I have something amazingly in common, man. Nearly 20 years ago this year, I was on Yahoo Personals, and I had a profile up there, and I met a woman. We talked on the phone, we got together, we got, started dating in person, and I've been married to her for, coming up on 19 years, and I've been with her for 20 years. You want to find yourselves a wife online? Not a bad idea. 2 guys right here. success story.
You hear that, Total Pro?
Yeah, bro. You don't even need to leave.
Profile.
Listen, you don't even need to leave your house, man. Just get yourself on, whatever. What's it called nowadays? Don't go on that one app though. That's probably not a good app unless you're just looking for action, maybe. There was a couple questions though. Pure Mood actually has a really good question for you.
Okay.
Pure said, thoughts on the huge skill gap between pro players and new players, and how it's almost impossible to get to number 1 in any lobby with one pro person in.
Look, Pure, I can't help that you keep on queuing him with Smarmy and he just keeps on beating you. Okay, it's not my fault. No, I'm just kidding. I think the issue
He's a comedian, this guy.
I think the issue with the gap between pro players and new players is multiple. But the issue is, obviously, they're new to the game. They don't know the map. They don't know the weapons. They don't know anything about the game. And they're not helped by the fact that the current tutorial that we have is very old, very outdated, and doesn't include a lot of the things that are being now updated in patches. And so if we can get, like, at some point in the future a new tutorial, and there would be people, and I know that this is a gigantic ask of Realm people and of kind of content creators and things like that. But if there were people out there who would be willing to really help people that are brand new and bring them in and be like, hey, like, this is how you use this weapon. Hey, these are good spots to go on the map. Hey, etc., then those people would take it and run with it. And I think Smarmy was talking about it. Someone was talking about it. I think it was you, Smarmy, saying how there was some young lady who came in and wasn't too sure about the game, and then ended up joining you and playing the game. I can't think what might have been on your last podcast. And how, like, now she's really into it with her friends and stuff like that. Like, we need more people like that. The issue right now with some of the Realm community is, even though it's a really small community, they feel like they have to try incredibly hard in every single game, and then when they've killed someone, regardless of if it's the #1 player in the world or it's the brand new player, they feel like they need to spit on them, dab on them, and do all the most toxic mods possible, which is never going to keep those people playing the game. Right. No, I listen. Yeah.
What had happened was, and just small plug for obviously TikTok here, but I just had some unbelievable success over there with live viewers, and it's a very much an up and down thing, but like for the last 3 or 4 weeks, I've been averaging about 90 viewers per stream, like, that I do over there. And there's a reason for that. Don't get me wrong. There's not 90 people constantly sitting there. The chat's not moving a million miles an hour, but for whatever reason, it shows up that way on paper. It looks that way. And I've done enough research to determine that, like, that's a lot of people. And so what's happening though, is there's people that are coming in, and I'm trying to decipher between the ones that are ripping me a new ass for playing the game and those that are making a comment like, what is this, And so this, I believe she was 17 years old. We finally came to that number. She said, this game actually looks kind of fun. And she's like, I'm going to download it. And so, usually you're fun, like with your chat. You're like, okay, cool. Hey, if you download it, we'll play, like we'll get you in. And so she's like, downloaded. What's your in-game name? And I'm like, okay. We got her in. We eventually got one of her friends in. And days later, I was live again, and then she popped in, and she was like, this game, I'm addicted to this game. Me and my friends are addicted to this game. We're playing it on Xbox. Like, where's this been our whole lives? And I'm like, dude, there's people out there that have literally never seen this game, and that's me. I'm that guy. I'm the guy trying to sell to those people, not the Fortnite kids that show up, not the people that we all know that already come and watch us stream and have an opinion about how they fucked up Hunter, or they fucked up Mage, or Engineer's gonna kill the game. I'm trying to go to this whole new audience, which is part of the reason I kind of have moved my gameplay over there, because there's a lot of people that literally don't know what this is. They literally have never seen it before, and they're like, is this Fortnite? And I'm like, well, and then I have the whole explanation, and it's a whole thing. I'm not gonna, go too much further into it, but yeah, man, we need more of those people. We need lobbies full of those people. And one of the things that I really respect about Total and Tick is whenever I catch them both streaming, they'll be like, oh, this is a new guy. This is a new realmer. We gotta let him win the game. There's also a downside to that, by the way, but I think at the point that we're at right now, where we're trying to promote a game to people that maybe have never played, and they're in the lobby sweating their ass off, they got 1 kill, and they're like, I'm second, there's 1v1. Oh my God, and then Total lets them completely destroy him. Like, that guy's sold. He's locked in. That guy's coming back. That guy's telling all of his friends, like, where's my voice changer? That guy's telling all of his friends, where's it at? Is it this one?
Dude, I won this brand new game, bro. I went on and I fucking won. You guys gotta hop on.
Like, that's what's gonna happen, right? That's what's gonna happen. We're gonna see that happen more and more. Anyway, last things last, man. Is there anything else that you want to say? Any questions you have for anybody in chat? Any questions that you have for me? And again, man, I really appreciate you. I know that because you're on the East Coast, we're coming up on midnight for you. So I really, really, really appreciate you doing this, Dreaded. And like, this has been, I'm not gonna lie, man, this has been one of the very best ones of these things that I've done as far as the back and forth and content that you've provided, man. So thank you very much for that tonight. Like, you've been amazing, bro. Someone said, dude, Dreaded will be amazing. They were not wrong. I don't remember who said that, but hold on a sec. Fine line there too, giving the win. Yeah, Pop Sock's right. Yeah, the shit on them and die in fog doesn't help their experience, though. That's true. Shadowcaster says he acts like he DCs. You just freeze right there. Yeah, man, we could have a whole other fucking podcast about tryhards, but Dreaded, man, thank you for coming on, man. Like, is there anything else that you want to jive on, or anything else that you want to say?
I'll answer Pop Schlock's question because I saw it in all the chat that's going on.
Oh, did I miss something?
Oh, you're good. It's just Pop Schlock. Don't worry about him.
It's just Pop Schlock.
So, he was asking about what controller I like to use. And,
that's right. I did see that.
I guess we can talk about this a little because I'm a very specialized case. So I'll show because it's up on the camera so you can see. So this is my controller. It's a SCUF controller. On the back, you will see, I don't know how well I'll see this because I can only see it on your stream. So there we go. So there's paddles. You can see they're only on one side.
Interesting. You go one side. Okay, interesting.
There's a very good reason for them being on one side. I can virtually feel nothing at all with my right hand.
Interesting.
Like, at all. And the only way that I can play games pretty much period is through muscle memory, because I've been playing on controller for probably 25 years. So yeah, I tried to play mouse and keyboard once or twice. It doesn't work for me. I either have fantastic aim with my left hand because I can feel and I can't move the character or use the abilities because I can't feel anything with my right hand, or I can swap and have the keyboard on my left hand and have great movement and abilities, but horrific aim because I can't feel the mouse. So yeah, whenever there's the paddles on the back, when I first got this on the right and I left them there, I kept accidentally touching them and not realizing. I can't feel them. So I was like, why is my character crouched? Oh crap, it's because I'm touching the buttons on the back. I didn't realize.
Hey, dear chat, or anyone that watches this or listens to it tomorrow on Spotify, just want to let you know that when Dreaded shits on you, you're losing to a man with one arm, basically playing the game with one hand. Just want to let you know. I feel bad now.
There's a command. There's a command in my chat, and it's anyone toxic who comes in, and it basically says, it's something along the lines of like, congratulations on beating a guy who is playing on controller PC with no aim assist and essentially only uses one hand. You deserve this moment. Be really proud of yourself. Like,
I absolutely love that, dude. I absolutely love that. No, you know, it's funny, man. Like you make me think of this. Is like I always get a lot of like comments on some of my videos because they'll be like, bro, you missed about 20 axes before you hit him perfectly 3 times. And like, I just don't have the heart to tell him, like, I'm 51 years old. I literally have the worst arthritis you could ever imagine for a guy who's 51 and literally not taking care of himself. And so when I play games or even just sit here for like 20 minutes, like one of my hands just, I don't even know it's there anymore. It's literally on autopilot when I play. And so I don't even notice that like I'm not hitting a button because I can't feel one of my fingers. Like it's just so much pain that I like drowned it out. So yeah, man, good luck to all you little shits that are getting older. When you get older, you won't be laughing anymore about us old guys with no feeling in hands and arms and shit.
Yeah, like if I can compare it, you know, like if you get your aiming hand, because the right thumb is your aim.
Right.
It's like, you know, get your aiming hand that you use for your mouse, if you're on mouse and keyboard, or your right hand if you're on controller, and go put it in a box of ice for 30 minutes and then come back and see how well you play.
Hey, listen, there's some 17-year-olds that are trying that for a whole different reason, Dreaded, but we won't get into that right now. We will not
talk about that here, Swami. That's like the after dark REFORGED radio.
I'm a 17-year-old, so I kind of, yeah, anyway. Well, guys, listen, man, Fred, I'm gonna let you get on with the rest of your night, man. I like honor and pleasure to get to know you a little bit better tonight. Thanks for doing this. I know that you didn't know me very well either. All you know of me is just me in a chat and me streaming. So I appreciate you taking, you know, a chance to come on and like talk to me as well, man. It means a lot to me. And I know that the community, when they get to watch this back or hear this back, they'll really appreciate a lot of the stuff that you talked about. And I hope that people really listened carefully when we talked about being, you know, the mod life. It is a hard life. And the people that mod for us on these channels are real people. They're human beings. And they're just trying to make it so that it's a better experience for everyone watching a channel. And so with that said, good night to you. Dreaded, thank you very much to you tonight. Tickle Slip, my mod who's here, and Pop Schlock, thank you for being willing to mod on my channel when you're around. And with that, that's it, you guys. That's the end. That's Reforged Radio, episode 10. Holy crap.